What's up, y'all? We back.
Yo.
Hardknocks episode. This is what 14, bro.
Dang.
14.
14. One day it's gonna be 140.
140, not for real.
When we have probably 20,000 viewers every single time live.
I see it. I see it coming soon. What's up, dog? How was your week, bro?
It was good, bro. It was really good. A few contracts this week, actually. It was crazy. We're just super busy, bro.
Yeah.
Super busy, but it's a good thing. I'm running into problems, but they're good problems to have.
Yes, sir.
That's when you know you're growing. When you're running into problems, you're like, yes. Whenever I run into problems, I'm like, yes.
Exactly. I was just talking about this with somebody the other day. It's like you can't get mad at the problems that you're having because you didn't have these problems last year, right? That just means you're growing, right?
Yo, I swear to God, Daryl, I thought about that. Like literally, I was stressed out this week because I had a bunch of appointments, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a bunch of appointments. We've had some situations with Dispo. We had a tough time getting some deals off, and I think we're going to internally grow our Dispo department, and that's what we're looking to do. And everything's just been stressing me out this week, right? Yeah. But I'm on my way to an appointment, and I'm thinking about it, and I thought exactly about what you just said. I'm like, you know what? I can remember like a year and a half ago, probably even a year ago, where I was like stressed out because I didn't have appointments.
Exactly.
And now I'm stressed out because I have too many appointments, and I'm like, how the hell are we going to sell all these things?
Exactly, bro. That's the gap versus the gain that Don Rich was talking about last week.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I got to read it. I got the book though.
Yeah.
Me and my girl are going to go over it this week or tomorrow.
I love it. Yo, so today you're doing something a little different. We're doing hot seats, right? So we're gonna what a hot seat is pretty much is when you break down your own business, right? So you'll have other people who are in the business asking you questions about your business. You go through it deeply, right? And we give each other feedback on what you think that other person should do, right? Mm-hmm. So me and Mike are going to dive into each other's businesses and see what's going on, see if we can unscrew some bottlenecks.
Hell yeah, we'll do this will be super interesting. We'll do a hot seat for each one of our businesses, exactly what our business looks like, and where we are at, where we're trying to go, and how we're going to get there. So we're going to do that, but then we're going to also have a Q&A at the end. Because I think a lot of people because me and Daryl have two different structures of business. We do the same thing essentially, but we go about it a different way. So it'll be interesting.
It's exciting, bro. Who wants to go first?
Let's go, bro.
You can put me in the hot seat first. Let's do it.
All right, bro. So explain exactly where you're at the moment.
Where I'm at as far as
business.
Just like where everything's at, like.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now we're
like deal flow. How are you getting deals? What does the structure look like? What does the day-to-day look like? How many people do you have on your team? What do those team members look like? All that.
All right, cool. So deal flow, I would say we're around like two deals a month. The past couple months we were slow though. Past couple months we've definitely been slow. We haven't closed anything the past 2 months. I'm sorry, we closed one deal in 2 months, but we have a bunch of contracts, right? Like we have like 13 deals under contract right now, and they're all dealing with something different, whether it's loan mods or probates or it's something that's extending it, right? So we have a bunch of deals under contract, just waiting for them to close, doing things to get them to close. Should have a couple closings next week. The deals that are coming, they're coming from JV, right? I'm a strictly JV model. I have, hold on, let me start this Instagram live. So I'm strictly JV model, right? I don't spend any money on lead generation, right? I have two VAs that we pay that are full-time. But lead generation is strictly free, right? So I have other wholesalers sending me leads. sending me their dead leads. If I have like maybe an integrator or something, they don't know how to close. They don't have the time to close deals, right? They're still learning, but they know how to generate leads. They send me their leads, right, and I close them, and I pay them a fee. Usually, if somebody sends me a lead and I close the deal, I do the transaction coordinating, I do the dispo, I give them 25%, I keep 75. And that's
Okay.
actually, that's actually a lot higher than, like, I've noticed a lot of people, they give like $500, $1,000 for a referral for a lead, but we do 25%
Okay.
on every deal.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have 2 VAs, and then I have 5 Americans. So one of them is a lead manager. I have 2 lead managers. I have 4 like closers, is what I call them. 4 closers on my team who are actually closing the deals. Right. So the lead managers are setting up the leads, warming them up, and then they assign them to the closers. The closers go in and close
So
them.
you have 4 closers
Yeah.
and then 1 lead manager,
2 lead managers.
2 lead managers. Are those
One lead manager is a VA. Yeah, the other one's a VA.
so 2 lead managers, 1 VA, 1 American.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got it. So how many leads do you typically get a week?
We get about 50 to 70 a week.
And then out of those 50 to 70, typically how many end up being contracts?
See, that's the issue, bro. We're getting contracts, right? And that's the thing. I don't really know that KPI yet. I don't know that KPI off the top of my head, which is an issue. Now that I'm thinking about this right now, I don't know that exact KPI.
So what is a KPI?
What is a KPI?
Mm-hmm.
A key performance indicator
And what does that do?
that tells you where you're at in your business.
Yeah,
It
so
tells you what you need to
it
do more.
measures it.
Yeah, it measures your business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. So the contracts you're getting, you said about 2 a month.
We're getting closed deals.
2 a month.
Yeah.
But contracts you're getting much more. A lot of them are just falling through because of title issues or some BS going on with the
Yeah.
with the
There was a
process.
few where they were just like
They
just weren't.
they weren't deals.
Yeah, weren't deals. We had to fall out of contract with those ones. I'm trying to limit that as well, trying to get that down. Like I'm trying to only contract deals, you know. Um
Okay. Well, here's the thing, bro. You got 4 closers. Are they full time, or do you want them to be full
no,
time?
they're not full time. And that's what I'm building to get them full time. If not, like I need to get that role to be VAs. Like the end of the day, right? And they all know that, right? Like they're all going to have their own businesses at the end of the day, right? So my job is to replace them with VAs.
Virtual assistants
Yeah, virtual assistants that are closing my deals.
that are closing.
Yeah. So I've one that he's on his way. He should be he should start closing in a couple
Okay.
weeks. I'll say
Well,
next
think
week.
about that, bro. When did you hire that VA?
He's been on the team for about, I'll say a month, 2 months now. 2 months for sure. Maybe longer, honestly.
So, dude, I mean, here's the thing with virtual assistants, if they're going to be your closers, it's going to take them a while to convert into a closer. It's going to
Yeah.
take them longer to become a closer rather than your acquisition managers.
Right.
So, if you think about this, bro, right? You could set yourself up here. You have 4 closers right now who essentially you want to be full time at some point. By the time they go full time, right, you should have VAs generating you leads. You should start going direct to seller at some point.
Yeah.
Because think about it, if you want those 4 closers someday to be virtual assistants, you got to start them at a cold calling standpoint.
That's the thing. I don't. We had a direct to seller model as well. All the leads
Yeah, I
that
remember.
yeah we were closing. All the deals that we were getting that we were actually closing came from JV, and all the ones that we have under contract currently all come from JV. right? So like we weren't getting any cold call leads, right? So we cut our cold call model out, and all those leads that we're getting, those 50 to 70 leads a week, that's strictly JV.
That's bananas. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
really good. But think about it, bro. If you weren't generating any deals from the contracts from the virtual assistants, how hard is it if they can't generate
Well,
leads? How hard is it
no,
going to be for them to
my
get
my
contracts?
so Mark, my lead manager right
Yeah,
now, is going to be closing soon. He didn't start as a cold caller. He's been a lead manager. We got him from a company, so I didn't. He was in a company that he's already been trained. I just gave him some
yeah,
tools. We role play on a regular basis, and he's been with us for a little while. But the idea is to like just show you how my brain is thinking about this, right? I'm gonna constantly bring in like sub two students, right? So I'm interviewing sub two students like in the next couple weeks, and I'm gonna continue to bring them on,
yeah.
right? And they're gonna be there to help me get the systems right, get the processes right, train, document everything,
Right.
right? Train the VAs and kind of help them out as well. So when I have 4 VAs, 5 VAs who are now closing deals, like it's not just me training them, right? It's other people as well that are sub
Yeah.
and they're helping out.
That's really dope. That's what we do in our business. We
Yeah,
have our team train our team. So like our lead manager is training a cold caller to be a lead manager.
exactly.
And literally it happened overnight, like probably in 2 weeks. Yeah. She just started full time this week, and that was after 2 weeks as being lead manager. My cold caller, who was uplifting to lead manager, it took about 2 weeks for her to get her up to speed, and she's like crushing it as a lead manager.
Right,
Well, that's what we did though. Here's what I did. I said, "Hey, Karen was my lead manager before. She's been with me for a while now, like over a year. Alex was a cold caller, and I needed her to become a lead manager because we want to uplift Karen. So what I said is, hey, Karen, your job, if you want to uplift to acquisition manager, you have to coach Alex on what you do on a day to day, and you got to get her right. I don't care how you do it. I'm going to give you some structure, but own it. Own that it is your job to get her up to speed to the lead manager position, because if not, then you will not get up to the acquisition point that you want to get to, that
right,
you're going to provide your family with and everything for that higher position, right?
right,
So essentially what happened was I said, I don't really care how you do it. I'll give you a structure. I think what you guys should do is um, 3 times a week, Alex shadows you for an hour, and then you shadow Alex for an hour. And there's feedback in between. So it's like kind of on the job training.
right.
I was like, that's the best thing that you can do. And also have some role plays and call calibrations in the middle of that. But the first thing is like the main thing. And literally it took 2 weeks for her to get up to speed. I was listening to her calls and she was crushing it.
Yeah, yeah. That's the idea for sure. And I just want to lean on sub two, utilize sub two. It's everybody has the same training, right? Everybody has access to the same thing, so I don't need to work as hard to train somebody else. We can just do role plays, and I can just give you little tweaks here and there, right? So that's the idea, and just build that team of VAs, bro, because it's not it's going to be rare where you're going to have a team full of Americans on commission only, right? That are working 8 hours a day, and I realize that. I understand that.
It also not only is it like um, put it this way, it would be a pain in the ass to manage all those four.
Yeah,
It would be much easier to manage four virtual assistants in that position.
yeah. And I'm not planning on like I'm working on right now. Like I had that chart that Don was talking to us about last week, and just replacing myself. That's what I'm really working on, replacing myself in these other positions, right? So I can raise money because I really want to buy. I want to buy properties,
Yeah.
right? So I'm working on raising money and talking to wholesalers, but I need to pull myself out of this sales manager position, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. We're at the same spot. But
Yeah,
as far as 50 to 70 leads, and actually, the thing with JV leads for me, what I've noticed so far, because I just started my JV department, I've noticed that they're hotter leads, to be honest,
yeah,
than my cold call leads. Like, as far as timeline. So, like, dude, my conversion rate already is like freaking 33% on JV leads.
yeah.
Granted, it's me calling them, but the others are just in follow ups. With that being said, though, I think maybe if you wanted those 4 to be full time, probably boosting the leads up to like 3 to 4 times that is probably what you're going to have to do to get those people full time.
You think the leads is the issue? Have the amount of leads is the issue?
Yeah, because 50 to 70, at least with 50 to 70 direct to seller leads equates to about a deal a week
Right.
for one acquisition manager. And that's just like a nationwide type of KPI. So you want the amount of leads that you have right now, and your team is like probably way past the national KPI anyway. So you're probably doing more deals. But I mean, at the end of the day, why wouldn't you go by the national KPI and then get a higher result? So
Right.
if you had 50 to 70 leads a week right now and essentially you have 4 closers, but really if they're all part-time, maybe you could look at it as 2 full-time.
True.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That makes
So,
sense.
so now that we're saying that, maybe instead of 2, 3, or 4 times, maybe it's like 2 to 3 times more leads than you have right now. But the cool part about it is that you can go get virtual assistants to go generate you leads who you can then coach to be lead managers at some point.
Right.
And I know you like the direct to seller model wasn't working for you, but look at it more of a standpoint as like, hey, I'm looking for freaking rock star VAs who I'm gonna uplift to a lead manager position at some point, or even acquisition manager at some point.
That makes sense. I like that. I do want to get back to the direct to seller model, honestly. I definitely do. Like, but for instance, right? Like I'm going. I just went back to my CRM and I'm looking at the leads right now. Right, we got 2 contracts last week, the last 7 days, and we had about like 105 leads last week, the last 7 days, over
Dang,
100.
that's good.
But here's the thing, though, bro. Here's the thing. 80 of them, 80 of them didn't answer the phone, right? So only about 5 of them, no, 7 of them actually got to the closers in the first place. That's an issue.
I mean, not really though, bro. Because
You know,
my lead manager, right, we're getting somewhere around probably 50 to 70 leads a week as well. And my
mhm.
lead manager typically will push about 2, maybe 3, 4 on a good day up to acquisitions. So let's call it 3. That ends up being 15 leads up to acquisitions a day. It
Yeah,
is double what you guys got, but I'm also having my lead manager, like those acquisition leads that are being pushed up, they're coming from old leads. They're not just coming from
we're getting them from old leads as well.
okay.
I'm talking about just the new leads though that came in last week.
Yeah, so that makes sense, right? Like it's probably half and half for me. Half of them came from old leads, half of them came from the new leads. So out of 50 to 70 that were generated that week, about probably 7 to 10 of them that were kicked up to acquisitions were new leads, right? The rest end up being put into a follow up sequence, or my lead manager looks at it like, why the heck did you put this in the system? This is trash.
Right.
So I think that number makes sense.
So trying to figure out what it is then, bro. I don't like we're getting contracts, right? We're getting contracts, we're getting deals. It's just things are just, and I know this is the game, right? Like you gotta, there's gonna be title issues. There's gonna be title issues. There's gonna be problems because we're solving problems, right? So
Mhm.
especially with the JV model, these are deals that nobody wanted to touch, right? So
That's
these
what I
are,
was going to say.
yeah. So we're gonna have problems with just about every one of our deals most of the time, right? Like we like I said, we have like 11 to 13 deals under contract right now, and majority of them are creative deals, right? Because these are deals that nobody could do anything else with, right? And
Yeah.
there's a lot of sticky stuff that comes with them a lot of times. Like you got to do things different a lot of times. So like, so my solution is just get more contracts, right? Get more contracts, get more deals, and it's just taking long, bro. So I'm
But
trying to
maybe that's not it.
right.
Because, like you said, the JV leads are leads that people don't want,
Yeah.
and it's for a reason. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Easy layup leads that somebody sees as a cash deal. They might see that lead that comes in, even though they're an integrated type person, right? And they're giving you pretty much all their leads, but they see a super freaking hot lead coming in that is like a crazy easy cash deal to just go lock up. They might not send it over.
Right. Yeah.
See what I mean? So at the end of the day, it kind of makes sense that a lot of your contracts are falling through.
Yeah.
So direct to seller kind of solves that problem. At least if you added one or two solid deals a month off of direct to seller, that would help you out. And those are wholesale deals that will give you the cash you need. Granted, you'll get creative deals from that too, but a lot of the direct to seller is just straight cash deals.
Yeah. I agree.
Which your wholesale business needs that. If you're going to hire virtual assistants, you need that.
Yeah.
Like these creative deals are freaking amazing. You're going to generate a lot of passive income and everything, but at the end of the day, if you want to go hire a team, you need cash coming in the door.
That's true.
From wholesale fees.
That's very true. That's very true. And like and that was my thought. I'm like, well, we can still get wholesale fees, especially if I'm buying the deals. Like I could pay myself, right? But it's different. It's definitely different. I agree. Those wholesale trade direct to seller cash deals, you can get some easy ones out of those that are closing.
Yeah. Dude, they're your heartbeat. As a wholesale business, those are your heartbeat. Like Pace was telling me, he's like, bro, your direct to seller business is what is going to allow you to go do everything else.
Yeah.
Like those wholesale fees that you're getting from direct to seller, that's what's going to essentially give you the heartbeat to go sit at other tables.
Yeah.
And go create other businesses and go be the buy and hold investor that you want to be and all these things, right? So you do need, especially when you're doing this full time.
Yeah, I agree.
You know? So how do you think you can get more leads?
I'm gonna have to do direct to seller. I'm gonna have to get back to direct to seller. I'm gonna have to sit down with my partner, figure out what the hell we were doing wrong, or what could we do better.
Maybe Andrew on my team can hop on a meeting with your integrator.
Yeah, that'll be lit.
And just kind of show exactly what we do and how we're generating leads. Because, dude, this is actually great. Andrew went on vacation for the last kind of week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the VAs, I'm like, yo, listen, Andrew is on vacation. Do not contact me for any systems. I don't want to hear. Actually, I don't even know how to log into the shit, so don't contact me. Right. However, here's what I want you to go do. I want you to treat this shit like you want Andrew to come back and say, why the hell am I even here?
How'd they do?
They crushed it. Dude, the most leads, more leads than when he's here.
Really?
And here's what I said. I'm like, because we've been going back and forth with texting and calling. One thing we've been doing actually, which is cool, we've been having them on the dialer and texting at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's been working a lot. But I said, yo, listen, I don't care. At this point, you guys have been with me for months. You guys understand how to go generate leads. I don't care your schedule. I don't care how you do it. All I want you to do is just make sure when Andrew comes back, he's like, what the heck happened? How the hell did you guys generate all these leads? This makes no sense. So I said, go be resourceful and go generate leads. You know how to do it.
Right.
And they literally crushed it.
That's fire. Yeah. I think we definitely need a JV model. I mean a direct to seller model for sure.
Yeah, I think it would Just alleviate all the BS.
Yeah, that's a good point, bro.
But same thing for me, bro. I have at the moment 5 properties under contract. 3 of them are cash deals that are falling out.
Really?
One from a title issue, that has to go through probate, and they're also in foreclosure, and the interest is accruing time after time after time after time. We can probably convert it into a creative deal, but it killed the cash deal. And then the other 2 we just couldn't sell. One was a good spread too, just in kind of in the middle of nowhere. But
Honestly though, bro, like I'm trying to see because we still have cold call leads, right? Like in our system. Like we have 56 cold call leads right now that we're currently working on.
mm-hmm.
Let's see how many are considered not interested. Yeah, 337 that are considered not interested. That just said like they were never interested in selling.
I would go back to them and hammer them.
Yeah. I think that's what we'll do because we have a bunch of cold call leads in our system, right? So I think I'm going to get a lead manager to literally just focus on cold call leads.
Out of those 370, I guarantee there's probably 3 or 4 deals. Maybe even more.
Yeah, probably.
I guarantee it. Especially right now, bro. Those people that maybe they said 3 months ago they didn't want to sell their house, they're selling their house now. Property that we got under contract this week was literally a lead that came in February. And we kept following up, and then boom, finally she's ready.
Nah, Nick just said Donna's one. She's getting closed Tuesday. So it looks like
we're that's freaking good. The lead that I was just talking about, her name is Donna.
Her name is Donna? That's
crazy. That's freaking weird, bro.
That's crazy.
That is so weird. But yeah.
Now we do have eight of them that we're about to make offers on. That came from cold callers. My thing, I think we need to go back and do it and just like split test it. Cause like we have cold call leads in the system, right? So might as well just see what that's looking like. I agree, bro. That's a good ass point.
Yeah, tackle them. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have to go get 3 or 4 virtual assistants right away. I would actually recommend not doing that. Yeah. I would recommend just going to get one, freaking nurture the hell out of them, have the other virtual assistant you have right now coach them up on everything they know. Then they turn into the lead manager. Your guy Mark comes up to an acquisition manager standpoint, and you go hire another virtual assistant.
That's a good point too, because when we did have VAs cold calling, we started off with like 1 and not blinked. The next thing I know, we had like 6, bro.
Because here's what you think. You don't see shit working and you think it's the leads.
Right.
And it's not. You see what I mean? You think that you need more volume as far as like people calling.
Yeah.
Not one virtual assistant should at least get you a deal a month. And if they're not doing that, then something's up. It's either your phone numbers, the cold caller stinks and they're not generating any leads, or it's your closers that aren't converting.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they were sending over a bunch of leads, but half of them were just telling us they weren't interested in selling at all.
Well, those aren't leads.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they were sending a bunch of stuff over, but a lot of them wasn't nothing, right? So I don't know if this is the leads, or is this they're just kind of incompetent. They don't know what they're really doing. Or is that the training? Right? Because I don't know. I didn't know anything about. I didn't train at the VAs. I didn't do nothing with the VAs with the cold callers.
Yeah.
So I have no clue.
Could be both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do a lot of. We just pull back the curtains and see what the heck is going on. If we see a week where we dropped down by half in leads. Then
Say it
if we look like 1 week for some reason we only have 30 leads or something, we're like, okay, something is wrong. What the heck is wrong? And we pull back the curtains and we figure out how many leads did this person generate? How many leads did that person generate? Oh, wait, this person didn't generate any. What the heck is going on her side? Then we pull back the curtains a little bit more. Okay, let's look at her phone numbers. Are they trash? No. Okay. Well, what the heck was this person doing? Oh, we found out that this person was not even working for a half of the week. That makes sense. So always going back and like pulling back the curtains and figuring out why. But these KPIs are the temperature check on it.
Yeah.
Same thing with deals, bro. Once you look at it and you're like, I'm not really generating any contracts. What is going on? You pull back the curtains and you see that your closers aren't performing.
You track your own KPIs, or your integrator does that?
My integrator does it. He has like a it's like a board, like a virtual board.
Yeah. Yeah, we got something like that. A board. Yeah, bro.
So, but yeah, dude, I mean, at the end of the day, one virtual assistant is only going to cost like $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
I would just have her start generating leads and get her ready to elevate.
Yeah. And then we'll hit the other ones at the same time. The ones we already have in our system.
Yeah, and make sure that VA that comes on is performing and she's set up with the right systems to perform. And if she's not, then she's just not the right fit and go find somebody else.
Yeah.
But here's what I've done in the past. I've had a virtual assistant come on who just wasn't performing. They actually weren't working. I found out that they legitimately weren't working.
What are they doing?
They weren't generating leads, right? And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is before I had an integrator. It was just me. In my mind, I'm like, what the heck? What is going on? Why am I not converting? Like, I was getting heated. So I'm like, all right, screw it. Let's get another one. And then I just spent more money. And then it only caused more problems.
Yeah. My thought,
everything in place.
I just cut it out. I just cut everything out. I was just like, fuck it. Scrap that shit.
Right. But the cool part about it is, bro, is that once you have a team that's starting to perform, you then hold your team member accountable for the other's performance. So at the moment right now, like I was telling you, my lead manager is coaching one of the co-callers. Yeah. Everybody on the team has an accountability partner. And I said, listen, it's on you guys to meet a couple times a week, go over your KPIs, go over how many leads you're generating, go over your personal stuff, what is going on in your personal life, go over your morals and everything that you have going on in your life that you want to make better, and hold each other accountable to all that stuff. And they're like really getting to know each other. And then what I'm going to do is, once we're in the process of uplifting everybody, once everybody's uplifted, everybody gets a new accountability partner. Now an acquisition manager has an accountability partner with a co-caller, and like mix and match and everything. You know what I mean? So everybody on the team now feels like a true family.
I like that. I like that a lot, bro.
Miller Acquisitions Group asks, where do you hire your VAs from? For me, I had them from an agency, and then we actually left the agency. It was kind of a crazy ordeal, but from there, we actually just started hiring internally. Like my team at the moment has people that they know that want to be virtual assistants, and that's how the virtual assistants, the new onboards, came on. But we're trying to find a better process. There's some Facebook groups and stuff that you can reach out to hire them directly. It kind of depends on what you want to accomplish, whether hire them directly and keep them internal. You're able to pay them more, keep them more happy, rather than going through an agency who takes a cut. But at the end of the day, the agency, like Start Virtual or something, will take the burden of any coaching or something like that.
Yeah,
which obviously helps.
Same. We have we go with companies as well. Like that actually they do the beginning training. You still need to train your VAs. Like, I don't want people to get it twisted. If you go to one of these companies that have VAs and they say they train them, you still need to train them yourself. And every day role playing, every day just learning different things, teaching them different things, on just connecting with them as well. Like I know some people who have VAs and they don't even know their VAs names. Like they don't they don't interact with their VAs at all, right? Like, and I mean, I was kind of like that with my VAs, but I had my team knows them, right? Like it wasn't my job.
Yeah, as long as somebody on your team is
doing
yeah,
that.
they have to. Like Pace probably doesn't know a lot of. Probably maybe he knows one of his VAs.
Exactly.
You know, but Matt Beard knows the whole team.
Exactly. Speaking of Matt
Beard, yeah, shout out to Matt Beard. He should be on here next week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude. So I would look into getting one rock star VA.
I think it's a good idea. I'm gonna ask my boy Mark if he got any friends, any cousins that want to.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that may be smooth, bro.
Because think about it. The reason why I like it, it can get tricky, but the reason why it has worked out for us is because our team members, when they refer somebody to us, they want to. They feel accountable, right? Like they don't want to hire a knucklehead that's not going to work,
right?
Because then they'll feel bad, just because of the environment that we have created.
Exactly. I like that.
When they bring somebody on, they make sure that they're going to be rock stars.
And as we were talking, I'm definitely going to like assign to one of my lead managers to only call cold call leads, and then the other one only call JV leads. And I'm really going to split test that as well, and just really like pay attention to them as well, because like we have so many leads that haven't been answered yet. I think they just get piled on, and like the cold call leads just get pushed down because we stop bringing them in, right? So they get pushed down to the bottom,
right?
So I'm gonna have one just filter it out and just go straight cold call, and then bring on another VA. Cold call. I think that'd be smooth.
Yeah, I like it. Here's what I would do, bro. I would take one of your closers. I would have them coach up the virtual assistant lead manager that you got.
Yeah.
And then another one of the closers and have them coach up the other lead manager that you got, to coach them up to the acquisition manager standpoint. And then one of those, whoever is like coaching, ends up being your sales manager. So it's essentially you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then from there, they're the one managing everything. They're the one.
I was thinking about that. So if they're getting just commission right now, what do I pay them commission on everybody's deals?
They get a cut.
They get a piece of everybody's deal who gets closed. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So if there's one person overseeing the whole entire thing, they get a cut of everybody's deals because every single deal has to be reviewed by him. And he's also the person saying, hey, go back to the seller and say this, go back to the seller and say that. Like you are right now, like I am right now.
Right.
Like somebody has to take our position at some point.
Some point soon.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what I would do, bro. I would take the two closers. I would have them coach the two lead managers. The one who is performing best as a closer, obviously, uplifts to the sales manager standpoint. And then those two lead managers come up as acquisition managers. At the same time, those one of those lead managers can coach the virtual assistant that's cold calling, one, how to cold call, but two, once she gets that down, how to become a lead manager.
Yeah.
And then you just replace again.
I like that too. And I also my executive assistant, Kashif, he was our best cold caller at one point as well. So he can, when he onboards a cold caller, he can train them and teach them how to call. Like he knows how to overcome objections and everything. Like I trained him personally, right? So he does all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
He could be the one to train the cold caller the whole time. So
your team members will like it. They'll have a sense of ownership.
Yeah.
And sense of pride when they start coaching it up. Also, at the end of the day, it makes them freaking better at what they do because they are now coaching. Exactly. Yourself, like as you're coaching your team, as we're on things like the nightly dial and the daily dial and everything, we're getting better.
bro, like no lie, I was thinking that the other day when I was on a call. I'm like, bro, I haven't even been making many calls, but like now, like when I'm on calls, it's just different. Like
It's different, bro. I swear to God, I'm the same. I feel the same thing. It's so weird.
it's just easy now, bro. It's like,
Yo, it is so strange, bro. It's literally because we have been spending our time coaching.
yeah,
It makes us 20 times better. Why do you think Pace is a freaking monster?
yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
He spends all his time coaching
Yeah,
and teaching people.
it's the best way to learn
Hell yeah.
for sure. All right, bro. Let's jump into your business, bro. I got my action steps, dog. I know what I'm about to do. I'm gonna get another
What is
VA
it?
because she's
What's
gonna. I'm a first of all, I'm gonna focus on these cold call leads as
yeah.
well. We're gonna continue. My JV model is pretty much automated at this point. I just need to keep being loud and just keep being in people's faces, and they're just gonna send me leads, right? Now I need to really focus. Me and my partner need to sit down and focus on the cold call side of things and really build that out. Start with one VA. I'll have my executive assistant train them up. We'll train them up, get him or her really good at cold calling, build up a cold call pipeline, and that's gonna fuel those quick deals because that's our only issue. It's getting quick deals. We're getting contracts, we're getting deals, we're doing deals.
Yeah.
Um, it's just we need fast. We need speed.
Yeah.
So
100%.
yeah, and and the reason why we stopped it, like I said, because we had a cold call model. We stopped it, but we just scaled too fast. I think we moved too fast without ironing out the processes, making sure everything was good, the culture in
Yeah.
general. Yeah,
Makes total sense. The cool part is you already have the infrastructure for the JV department,
exactly.
like which is dope, which is generating you money. So now you can just use that money to go build out the direct to seller because direct to seller costs money at the end of the day. JV
Exactly.
doesn't cost that much money.
Claudio said I need PPC leads. Yo, I do need PPC leads. I'm not gonna lie, bro. PPC is different. I work when I first started working. When I first started working for somebody else, on their acquisitions team, they had PPC, and bro, it's like the quality of the leads are just different. They come in, literally, they want you to buy their house. Like, there's
It's
no
crazy.
games. It's like you know why I'm here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, Claudio said it's time for you to step up, my boy. Much faster cash flow cycle. Nah, that's facts. Now the only thing, if you guys are new or don't know what PPC is pay per click, right? They are hot and ready. 1 out of 10. He said 1 out of 10 conversion. Little Caesars.
I'm converting 500 points.
They're hot, bro. They're hot. But for the new viewers who don't know what PPC is, it costs money, big money, right? Like tens of thousands of dollars a month, pretty much. But it comes back. It definitely comes back. You just seen a man said, he said 3K and you spend monthly minimum. I don't know that. We may need to get Claudio up here.
Here's the problem with PPC. If you're not a bona fide closer, don't do it. Because if you're generating these PPC leads and it sounds super great with people saying, yo, they're hot and ready, they're gonna convert. Dude, no, you have to convert.
You do have to convert them. And if you don't have the systems in place where you have somebody calling that lead within seconds of that shit hitting your system, because what happens is they go to a website, they fill it in, right? And then when they search sell my house fast or whatever they search, a bunch of other people who are doing PPC pop up, right? So they'll go on one, they'll fill it out. They'll go on the second one, they'll fill it out. So if you don't call the second that thing hits your CRM, you're gonna miss it because somebody like me is gonna call as soon as possible, right? And exactly, you got to call within 60 seconds. Closers only, facts. You got to be able to close it. And like what we were doing, when I was working for the acquisitions team, they had VAs that were on it, right? So as soon as a lead came in, the VA called it, live transfer straight to a closer, right? So you got to be on it. You got to have the systems in place. They got to be set up. It has to be like that. And I think we have the systems in place for that.
You guys could do it.
We do have the systems in place to do that. I think we could. It's a good idea, Claudio. May need to look into PPC as well.
It's funny. I actually have a meeting today about PPC.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
it may be a sign, bro. Yeah, for sure.
My guy who is doing the PPC for our junk removal business, I'm hopping on a call with him today, and we're seeing what he can do for us. He was crushing it for our junk removal business, but
Bet. Yo, Claudio, I'll thank you now, bro, and I'll thank you later. He says, master that you can create a 3 to 10 time return on your ad spend. That is definitely facts. But Mike, let's jump into your business, dog.
dang, where do I start?
Where you at? I'm gonna ask you the same vague ass question you asked me, bro. Where are you at in your business right now?
So at the moment, we have 4 virtual assistants. One of we're in the process of uplifting everybody on our team. Put it that way. So at the moment, we have 4 virtual assistants. One of them has been with me for over a year. She has been my lead manager for a while now, like probably 8 months. She's been a lead manager. Now she is uplifting to acquisition manager with an American who's an acquisition manager. So we'll have 2 acquisition managers.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the other 4 virtual assistants who was a cold caller is coming into the lead manager standpoint. So then we'll have 2 full-time cold calling and texting. We are bringing in another virtual assistant to cold call and text. So there'll be 3 virtual assistants, cold calling and texting. There'll be 1 lead manager and there'll be 2 acquisition managers. That's what the team will look like within the next probably 3 to 4 weeks.
You said 2 acquisitions managers and 2 lead managers.
2 acquisition managers, 1 lead manager,
Lead manager. Okay.
3 cold call and texters.
Okay.
Now, what it looks like right now as far as leads, we're generating kind of the same amount as you, averaging about 60 a week. And these are all direct to seller. I don't do too much JV, but I'm getting into JV. This is why I'm actually excited to do this, because Daryl's the king of JV. So at the moment, we're doing about a contract a week. Like I just said, it's July 16th. In the past month, we've had 5 contracts. 3 of them have already fell through. One of them is going to convert into a creative deal, a sub 2 deal. Once we go through the probate process, 2 of them were cash deals that we couldn't sell. Actually, we have 6 under contract because one of them, the other one's a cash deal, which is a JV deal.
Yeah.
So that's why, dude, I have one. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, why'd the other ones fall through?
So one of them it was a good deal as far as numbers wise, but it was in the middle of nowhere. And here's the problem. What we've been doing so far is we've just been working with one dispo department around this area who has been selling all of our deals.
Yeah.
And we're running into a situation right now where dispo is kind of tough. It's kind of hard to get deals off. And, it's just, there's a lot going on in the marketplace. So they weren't able to get rid of that deal. And then the other one, same thing. There wasn't enough bandwidth to get rid of that deal, for one. For 2, the buyers are kind of getting scared. From what I'm hearing, I don't know. I'm not in the dispo side of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not out in the trenches talking to buyers and all that stuff. Up to this point, all I've done is lock up contracts, send them over to them. They sell them, take the percentage and whatever. So all I have to worry about is getting contracts and sending it over to them. That's it. But now this hasn't happened. Like, I've never had this happen. And maybe it's a problem, right? Maybe this means I'm not doing enough contracts, because I've never really had a deal just not be able to sell.
Right.
Because it wasn't a good deal, because I learned this business from a fix and flipper. So I know my numbers. So we haven't really been locking up deals that weren't deals that we know couldn't sell. Also, with the market being crazy hot the past few years, the deals are just going off the shelves, or were. Now it's drying up a little bit. Now I'm like, crap. I have two things I got to work on. One, I had one lead. It was my very first JV lead, bro. Like as I launched a little Podio thing and all that,
Yeah.
like something that goes right into my system. It was the very first one. I called it on the first call, closed it.
I like it.
Like the very first one. After that happened, I'm like, yo, hold on. We got to do this JV thing.
What kind of deal was it?
It's just a cash deal.
It was a cash deal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So I'm like, bro, we got to crank this JV stuff up. So
yeah.
At the moment, here's what I'm working on. Like, I'm not really worried about contracts from my cold call and texting department and my direct to seller model. Like, those contracts are being converted. I'm proud of my guy, Felipe. He landed us an Ovation agreement this week. He has another super, super hot appointment on Monday that will be a cash deal that he'll close on. So he's starting to crank up.
Okay.
I'm not worried about him doing deals and him getting cash deals under contract in the acquisition department. What I am worried about is when those things start coming up and JV leads start coming, how the hell am I getting rid of these deals?
What do you mean by getting rid of them? Like just selling them to buyers?
Yeah.
That's different, right? Because you just recently stopped with your dispo department.
I don't want to say stopped, and I freaking love them. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it made me realize, like, crap, I'm not in control here. Like, I literally, we had to back out on a deal, and it's going to cost me $1,000 earnest money.
Are you exclusive to her?
No.
So why don't you find other people who can help you do dispo as well?
Other companies?
Yeah. Maybe like people who are like, what I'm looking at doing is find a bunch of people in Astro and a bunch of like people who do dispo and have like tools like Investor Lift and stuff like that. And just squat up with them. Right. So you have people in different markets who can help you do different things. Well, especially when you're doing JV, right? Because you don't know where those leads are going to come from.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about doing right now as well, myself. And another thing that we've been doing in like rural markets, like I don't know for sure if I'm going to have a buyer for this. We've been doing option contracts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been using those.
Yeah, we've been using a lot of option contracts, and it's like once you're under contract with them, and you can show them like, hey, here's what my buyers are coming in at, right? And most buyers buy the same way. They're more open to
explain what the option contract is.
Yeah, so option contract is pretty much just you're being very upfront. You're telling them that you're wholesaling this deal, right? So it's like I'm not a buyer for this one. This is kind of out of my wheelhouse, but I do know a few people who actually buy these types of properties, right? Would you be open to if I can get somebody to come in and pay your price? Would you be open to me showing them your property, marketing your property to my friends? Right. They'll pay me. Right. My friend will pay me. He'll buy the house. He'll pay me on his side. But you get the number that we agree to. Would you be open to that? And like, why wouldn't they? Right. You're just telling them pretty much, I'm going to find you a buyer. You don't need to do anything. Right.
Best feeling in the world. Because I actually do that. The ones where I'm like, I don't think I would close on it myself.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to. Could, but I wouldn't want to. So for those ones, I tell the buyer that all the time. And what my dispo company that I was using, what they ended up saying to me was, hey, our leads are actually harder to talk to sometimes because they think we're buying it all the time. Whenever we get your leads, it's kind of cool because they understand exactly what we're doing. So it's easier to go have a showing and all that.
Exactly. So I mean, but the easy thing is, bro, and this is what I was thinking about as well. It's gonna come to a point where I feel like you're gonna need an in-house dispo team.
Right.
So because it's all about speed, right? So you're gonna have to be able to go to somebody, or at least a dispo manager who is connected with all these other dispo companies and people who have buyers, right? Somebody who's like all day, right? So when you go to your team and they need a MAO or something like that, your dispo manager can get that. They can get what a buyer would pay for this property, right? And now you already have buyers lined up waiting for this property to get under contract, and you could just, once you lock it up, you sell it the same day.
I like that. Having a dispo. Ooh, I like that. Having a dispo manager, not only going out building relationships with other dispo companies, but getting in the trenches and talking to buyers as well, because
Exactly.
we could do either or. That gives us options.
Exactly.
That's freaking genius, dog.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah. So she could focus on your market for like so Boston, right? She's here. I mean, even if she's not there, right? She can focus her time on actually finding buyers in Boston, wherever you guys are having properties at, wherever, like all the time, just looking for buyers, right? But also in JV markets, she's constantly making relationships with people in these markets. Her goal is to have a spreadsheet of the 50 states and a Astro student or a dispo house that covers in every single one of those states.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's the problem right now. That JV one that I have, we almost didn't sell it either because I didn't have a dispo company down there to reach out to. So I had some sub 2 students help me out, and actually it ended up being a real estate agent who found me a buyer.
Yeah. I imagine if you have that already written out, you have like a person to go to for every single deal that you get, or every single lead that you're working on, bro. You can, and this is something that I need to do as well. So like every lead that you have, like your acquisition manager comes to you, or comes to your sales manager and says, "Hey, I need an MAO for this. 1 second, let me hit the dispo team." They can reach out to some buyers. It looks like we should be here, right? In the meantime, it looks like we should be here because I can comp. I know my numbers as well, right? This is where we should be at. But let me get the dispo manager to start putting feelers out, looking for some buyers to give me a yes or no, or where would they buy this at, right? We get it under there.
Really like that. I like that. Okay. So I'm gonna look for, if you guys are watching and you guys are killer dispo people, hit me up. How's it been talking to the Astro students?
I really only talked to a couple of them, but I really didn't like map everything out yet to really have the conversation that I want to have with them yet. So I'm going to start doing that next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I've really just been like kind of like just saying what's up. Like I really haven't, like, we scheduling Zooms and stuff. Like we haven't really gotten on Zooms yet.
So now, give me an understanding of where I should go with the JV department. At the moment, to give you an understanding, at the moment, all I have, my integrator is working on getting a website and stuff, but all I have is when somebody says, "Hey, bro, I have a lead for you," I just send them over a link that essentially is like a form that they fill out, and it's the seller information.
Have you ever seen my link?
Yeah, it's dope. I love it. That's what my integrator is about to do.
So do something like that, right? The whole point of that is just to make sure something comes straight to your system, right? Also, you can put if you can get like a link to like an agreement or something like that, like a JV agreement, that has the terms in there that they have to agree to before they send it in, then I would recommend doing that as well.
Okay, so before every lead they send in, they sign the agreement.
Well, they don't sign it; they just click a box. So, like on mine, yeah, I'll show you.
Dude, that's fire.
Yeah. It just make sure that you need to read this document and you need to agree with it, or you can't submit the lead, right? It's like if you don't agree with the terms of the JV, then just don't submit the lead.
So when they submit the lead, does it sign the document for them?
Nah, it doesn't sign it. We come back and we sign another agreement. But you were aware of my terms. Like, I don't know if that holds like in my argument, but you were aware of these terms. Like I didn't go ahead and, like, you know what these terms are, right? Like you can't submit the property. You can't submit the property over until you agree to these terms.
I like that, bro. I think I'm gonna do that.
Let me show you. So here's the website. You submit your lead here, and then I accept the terms of use. So you can't. You have to. You see. You have to click this box in order to read it, right? But you have to click on it.
Yeah.
And when you click on it, it's a JV agreement, and it says 70-30. If party B submits the lead and is responsible for finding end buyer, JV will be split 50-50. If party A decides to keep subject property, buyer will pay subject B a reasonable assignment fee. Right. So when I lock your deal up and I tell you that like this is what we're doing, right? You already know what it is, right? Because you checked it already.
So when you get it under contract, are you getting it under contract under just your LLC or both?
It's my LLC.
Okay.
Always control the deal. Always control the deal.
Okay. And then so 70-30 is when you take.
I really need to switch that. It really needs to be 75-25.
Okay, 75-25.
Yeah.
And that's when you are doing everything. You are finding the buyer, you're doing transaction coordinating, you're closing, you're doing the whole nine. All they're doing is legitimately sending the lead.
Exactly.
They send the lead and they close their eyes, and 2 months down the road, they got 25% of that assignment fee in their pocket.
Exactly.
Okay. Now,
sometimes even longer because I continue to follow up. Like we just locked one up yesterday that was let's see when this was sent to the system. I'll tell you right now. It's definitely over 2 months. This one was submitted February 25th. And I just called the JV partner and was like, "Yo, we just got a deal locked up." He's like, "Oh, I forgot about that."
That's lit.
All right.
Okay. All right, cool. So what was a 50-50 if they find the buyer?
If they find the buyer, it's 50-50.
Okay. Does that get a little does that cause some gray area? When they find out that you locked it up and they're like, no, I want to find the buyer. I want to find the buyer. I want to find the buyer.
Please find the buyer.
Okay.
Please find the buyer. Make it easy for me. I'm cool with 50-50. I'm cool with 50-50.
And then when that happens, do you have them do the transaction coordinating and stuff as well?
Nah, I have an in-house TC who does like she TCs all of our deals.
I like it. I like it, bro.
Yeah. And she even reaches out to them. She'll get the JV agreement signed and all that good stuff. Once it's
okay. So then let's say you send it over to a dispo company who is charging you a percentage. Like typically, what is a dispo company charging you?
First of all, they don't charge me. I give them a percentage. but I usually do 50-50. So everything that I'm talking about with the lead, that's from the profit that my business gets.
Exactly. Okay.
So they get 20. So if I 50-50 with the dispo, they're 50-50 on the whole deal. If I 50-50 with you from sending my lead in, we're 50-50 on the profit that I got. That my
okay, so Daryll locks the property up, and Mike is the one who sent the lead in, and Joe is the one who Daryll partnered up with to dispo it.
Right.
Daryll and Joe, let's just say the assignment fee was $10,000.
Yeah.
Daryll and Joe split $10,000. Daryl now has $5,000.
Yep.
That he essentially gives Mike, who gave him the lead, 25% of that 5,000.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. Now sometimes, bro, I will say I think I pay too much, honestly. And that's probably why I get so many JV leads at the same time.
I mean, I'm doing 50% right now with the one that I'm doing.
50%? Oh, that's crazy. No, you're crazy for that.
I was thinking about it the other day.
You want some of my leads, dog?
I'm like, bro, once the JV department starts cranking, There's no way we'll be able to do 50% because
I'm about to send you all of my dead cold call leads, bro. 50%. Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Got it. This makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, bro.
I'm so freaking excited.
Uncle Lonzo pays like 2,500, like a flat fee, like 1,000, 2,500, 500. Honestly, 500 to 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you got to really think about it. This is a lot of work. Like I was stressed up. I haven't. Here's the thing. I haven't. Here's what happened on that JV deal. I haven't done many JV deals before, right? Just a lot of direct to seller. I've helped some other people out get deals and stuff, but not a legitimate JV deal where somebody submitted it to my portal and all that.
right.
It was out of my market. So I lock it up. I talk to the seller. I send it over to my dispo team. They said they don't want it. And then I'm sitting there like, shit, how the hell am I going to sell this deal out of my own market?
Yeah.
And now I'm the one trying to find the buyer. I'm the one trying to get boots on the ground. And
then on top of that,
do this.
everything goes wrong. That's your company that's on that contract. You're taking the heat for everything. Right. So that's why I try to explain to some people, and I don't even get into it with people a lot of times. Like if you're not happy with what I pay you for your work, for what you did on this, because that's all you sent me a lead, right? My company did the rest, and you don't know what we did to get this deal. Like none of these deals come easy, right? So if you're mad and upset about getting 25% of a deal that all you did was send the lead into, it's probably going to be our last deal together. I'm not going to argue with you much. I'm not going to get into it. This is gonna be the last lead that you sent me. Like I'm gonna like I'm not gonna take your leads, literally. Right. So you just gotta be like that with people, bro, because they don't see it on the other side. Right. So like I understand what you were trying to do. 50%, you just like that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot.
No,
like, you have to understand they paid for their marketing, right? They paid for the marketing to get the lead. Right, but it's so much more that comes with that. So Tristan?
No, it is. Yeah, dude. Okay, so Mike has to go get a dispo manager to go out and build relationships with dispo companies.
Yeah.
And buyers in the market. That way my team can reach out to them and say, hey, where do we need to lock this property up?
Yeah.
And they deal with the whole entire thing. What do you think that dispo manager gets?
So that's something that I was going back and forth with as well. I don't know. I was thinking like
same percentage as an acquisition manager.
That's what I was thinking. Same as acquisitions.
That's what Pace and his team does, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need that dispo manager to do all that, and then I need to get that JV form all filled out and cleaned up.
You should just get out of Podio, bro. It's way easier. It's way easier in Bitrix.
What are we getting into? I forget what the heck it is. Is it REI reply?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Yeah. REI reply or REI Sift?
Nah, not Sift. We're getting into another CRM that my integrator really loves. But
did you ever look at REI Sift?
Mm-mm.
You might gotta get with Claudio, bro. He showed me some heat. If I wasn't already like built in with Bitrix, like I love Bitrix. I'll do shout out to Bitrix, Tristan. I need to get an affiliate link with Bitrix because I'll be promoting Bitrix a lot. But I mess with Bitrix, but Claudio showed me REI Sift, and REI Sift was good. It had everything, like from your cold calling, texting, like everything was in that one system.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Yo, Tristan, I'm on my podcast. This is on Wholesale Hardknocks with Mike Gomes. We're live on YouTube right now. The link in my bio.
Got it. So Daryll and Mike's hot seat. Freaking love it. We're gonna have to, what is it? July 16th, 2022. We're coming back in 6 months with another hot seat. And we're gonna have a whole lot more problems.
Yeah. Completely different problems at that.
I promise, bro. Like literally the past 2 weeks, I'm like, holy crap. I'm running into the craziest amount of problems, but I absolutely freaking love it.
My one of my favorite sayings is you can't complain. Hold on, what was it? Yeah, you can't complain about having a lot on your plate when your goal was to eat.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it. You know what I love? The shaking is for the shifting.
The shaking is for the shifting. I
So
like
when you're shaking, when shit's shaking, like when God's shaking your life, He's really trying to shift your life into a new perspective.
that's facts. That's facts. We got another one here. More money, more problems. That's what we said in the Oscar said in the chat.
Love it. Let's do some Q&A, bro.
Let's do it.
Anybody have any questions?
Any questions about anything real estate related? Shout out to Tristan. He says, get on phoenixjv.com today, 12 to 3. It's a meetup in downtown Phoenix. If you guys are in Arizona, I think I'll make it to that one. Tristan told me I need to get my ass there.
Damn, I forgot you were in AZ, bro.
Facts. Yeah, bro. I don't know. It seems like we don't got no questions, dog. But this was. Oh, here we go. Any tips with underwriting a seller finance deal? Honestly, you need a few things, right? You need when a seller finance deal, and that is when there's no loan that you're taking over. Seller finance is strictly turning the seller into the bank. You need the purchase price. You need the monthly payments that you're going to be paying the seller. You need the rent rate, right? What are you going to cash flow versus your entry fee? How much repairs are you going to do? So if you guys don't know the 7 parts of the entry fee, and this is any creative deal, right? Any creative deal that you are underwriting, you need to know the entry fee, 7 parts of the entry fees. Down payment to seller, arrears, assignment, closing costs, repairs, holding costs, what am I forgetting? The marketing, right? Those are the 7 parts of the entry fee. You get your total entry fee, and then you get your cash flow, your net cash flow after vacancies and repairs and everything. Right? You take your total net cash flow, you divide that by your entry fee, you get your cash on cash return. Once you have a good cash on cash return, everybody's good. A good cash on cash return is different for everybody, right?
Here's what I'm gonna do for you guys.
What's that?
I have a YouTube link right here. Damn, I just posted. Oh, I thought I just posted on yours.
You posted on both, dog.
Follow that link, and that is a video from Pace explaining the entry fee, what the 7 parts are.
Oh, she's not on. She needs to get on the YouTube, dog. If you got G-Day, Mike just dropped the link in our YouTube chat. Make sure you jump into the YouTube to get that link. He just dropped a video on the 7 parts of the entry fee by our mentor, Pace Morby. That's where you'll learn everything I just talked about. Any other questions? Any other questions?
When should you do a novation versus a subtail, and what's the difference? This is a very, very good question. This is funny.
That is a good question.
Novation under contract yesterday, where the dude that brought me the lead thought that it was going to be a subtail. So here's what happened. Guy brings me a lead, and he's like, Mike, bro, I have a sub 2 opportunity. Let's get this thing under contract together. I'm like, all right, great. Let's hear the story. So the story with the seller is, his name is Ralph. He is going through foreclosure. He has a foreclosure date of the 26th of July. Now, he is disabled, so he doesn't really have the means to move out of there before then. So he needs some help as far as money and a crew to help him move his stuff out of there, because he's moving to Arizona, but he can't do that until the beginning of September. So if he got foreclosed on, he'll be screwed. So essentially, we are stopping his foreclosure. but he is $70,000 in arrears. So the guy that brought me the lead he's like, hey, we should take this thing down sub 2 and then just sell it on the back end because the guy wants 275 for it. So I'm like, okay, 275 would get the seller maybe like $20,000 in his pocket. He has like a $255,000 payoff. Now I'm looking at it, right? I'm like, hey, what's the deal here? Like, why do you want to take this thing down sub 2? I mean, sub 2 and then do a sub tail. And he's like, well, I just need the money for starting my wholesale business. So I asked him like what he's trying to accomplish with the deal because he brought me the lead. And he's like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with holding the property. I'm like, okay, well, do you want an assignment fee? Because I could pay an assignment fee for a sub 2. And I'll take it down and I'll keep it in my portfolio. And then we start underwriting it, find out that it wouldn't really cash flow as a regular rental, right? So long-term sub 2 out of the question. Now we could subtail it where we close on it and take it over sub 2, catch up the arrears, right? Take it down sub 2 and then just list it right on the market because not much work needs to be done. However, I'm like, hey, why are we going to pay closing costs and everything like that, right, to take it down sub 2 when we could just do an ovation? So essentially, in this situation, Benny, it's like perfect. We are going to do an ovation on this particular situation because we're able to do an ovation and not pay the closing costs and not have to come up with the $70,000 in arrears or get a loan modification. So all we have to do is put a purchase and sale in place to extend the foreclosure date, move the guy out, clean the place out, and put it on the market.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. And essentially at 275 with closing costs, it eats up at our profit too. So it's like.
So can you explain just what an ovation is, or and a subtail? I don't think a lot of people know what that is.
Okay. So subtail. Well, let's talk about sub 2. Sub 2 is when you take the property over subject to that existing mortgage. So if Daryll had 123 Main Street that he had $100,000 mortgage on, and he just wanted to get out of it at $100,000 and wash his hands, Mike could come in and buy that property from Daryll for $100,000 and essentially just take over his mortgage payments. Now Daryll still has the mortgage in his name, and Mike pays the mortgage on Daryl's behalf, and I become the new owner. I am on deed. So let's just say that property could be worth 175 on the market, and I wanted to do a quick flip. I could do that same process, take it down sub 2, what I just talked about, while Daryll is out of the property and he leaves. I do some work, I maybe do some cleanup or whatever the case is, and I just put it right back up on the market. So I take it down for whatever reason. Maybe I'm nervous that he's going to not move out or something, and I need control of the property. For some sort of reason, there's something telling me that I want control. So I'm going to take it down sub 2. I'm going to clean it up and I'm going to put it back up on the market. For me, like in this situation that I just talked about, we're able to just do it on an ovation without having to close it because the guy he's working with us, right? Like he needs to move. He needs our help moving and all that. So it just makes sense. Now, what is an ovation? An ovation is when we agree to a price. So let's just say that same situation with Daryll. Let's say Daryll owns that particular house free and clear, and he wants $100,000 for the property, and it's worth 175, needs maybe $15,000 worth of work. But Daryll is so stuck on this $100,000 number for some reason. And I'm like, dude, Daryll, I can't give you the $100,000. It's gonna hurt me on a cash deal that just, after I pay my lenders, after I pay the hard money lender, after I pay the attorneys to close on it and everything, it's going to be a little bit too much. The spread isn't going to be enough. So, hey, why don't we do this? If you're okay with this, why don't I get you that $100,000 in a few months? Give me like 2 months. We're going to have to structure this a little bit different. But if you can give me 2 months, I'll get you your $100,000. He's like, okay, great. So what we do with the property is we have an agreement in place that allows us to market the property whatever way we want. We are also in control of the house. We can get power of attorney, so we have full control. And what we do is we then put the work into it, the $10,000 listed on the market with our real estate agents, and essentially find an end buyer on the market, close on it at maybe 175, pay the real estate agents, pay the attorneys their money that they need to close on it. And then after that, once it's closed, he gets the $100,000 and we get whatever spread that is. So essentially, you are fixing and flipping the house without ever having to buy it or do a subtail where you have to take over the loan and pay closing costs and all that. So essentially, it looks like this. Daryll has a property that he wants to sell for 100 grand. He's stuck on this $100,000 number. I can't make that happen if I close on it with cash, and I can't make a wholesale fee on it. Okay, great. What I can do is I can go find an end user. I can do a little bit of work to the property. I can go find an end user, like somebody that's going to live in the property, that would buy it at 175 and essentially take that spread. And I'm going to take the $100,000 that I owe Daryll. I'm going to get that from the $175,000 that the end buyer gives to close on it. So $100,000 goes to Daryll. There is probably going to be in that situation like 20 grand that goes to attorneys and realtors to sell the deal. Maybe we put in $10,000 into repairs, and then after that, we end up with whatever spread is left.
So we got another question here, bro. Oscar says, when you do an Ovation, do you just have them sign a third-party agreement, or do you actually take over the deed? Asking because I've met people that do both.
So how I've done it is essentially a third-party agreement. So what it looks like, here's the process. How I've done Ovation so far. So there might be somebody that's doing it different, but here's how I've legitimately made money. And it's risky, but whatever. We have a purchase and sale agreement in place that's with the seller. So for this particular property that we're working with, Ralph is our seller. We have a purchase and sale agreement in place for $275,000. So what happens with that? In that purchase and sale agreement, we have something that states we are able to market the property whatever way we want. So we can throw it on Facebook, list it on the MLS, freaking go put a for sale sign in the front yard. We can market that property whatever way we want. We have marketable title. So what that allows us to do is now list the property with our realtor. So with that agreement, right, the seller in his mind, he's like, hey, I'm getting 275, I'm locked up in this purchase and sale agreement at 275. Now what we do to have control is we get power of attorney of the seller that allows us to be in control of the listing, because that initial purchase and sale agreement that we have with the seller, we're not really going to use it. All we're going to use it for is to one, sell the property, but for two, it allows us to have proof that we have interest in the property, which will help us in the end. And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So now that we have the ability to list it with our realtors, we get in the property and we do some work, whatever we need to do, maybe clean out, or maybe there's a big renovation you got to do, whatever, right? But you also have power of attorney. So what you do is you have your realtor list the house. In this situation that I'm talking about, we're going to list the house for $360,000, right? Now an end buyer is going to come in. The real estate agent is going to bring in an end buyer. There's going to be another purchase and sale agreement that is going to be the actual purchase and sale agreement that is used to transfer the deed. On that purchase and sale agreement, since we have power of attorney, we're going to have our realtor put Silver Homes LLC to be paid out X amount of dollars in order for the entity to release the interest of the property. So that it's going to say that in the special contingencies and terms on that purchase and sale agreement with the end user and our seller. mind you, we have power of attorney. We can sign off on the listing agreement. So then what ends up happening, we reach out to the attorneys once closing happens, and we tell them, hey, make sure that we're on the HUD statement to be paid out. So what we do, we calculate this on our end. We calculate what the attorney fees are going to be, what the realtor costs are going to be, and then we take that amount and we subtract it by whatever our purchase contract is with the seller, and then we make that our price on the purchase and sale agreement. So maybe it's $40,000. Silver Homes will be paid out $40,000 to release the entity's interest in the property. And then one other thing that we do in order for us to be secure in this deal, and actually I haven't, on my first one that I didn't do this, but you definitely should do it on every single one. File a memorandum so that they can never sell the property without going through you. And that's essentially what release the interest means. We are releasing our interest. We're releasing that initial purchase and sale agreement that we have with our seller. You got to pay us $40,000 to do that.
Bro, what's a memorandum?
Memorandum. So a memorandum pretty much just states, right? Like I was saying, we have the initial purchase and sale agreement. Sierra has a great question. Yes, you have to be fully transparent. Like, this is something that I told my seller, like on this last one that we're doing right now. Hey, you have to be okay with us making money. This won't work if you're not okay with us making money on the deal. One that I've done before, I told him the same thing. I even pushed him. I said, bro, you can get this thing done if you just do a couple things and list it with a realtor. And he's like, dude, I don't want anything to do with that. Just give me my $300,000. I'm like, okay. But full disclosure, you have to be okay with us making money. He's like, yes, I don't care, dude. I don't care if you make a freaking $1 million. I'm like, all right. So we did the deal. So yes, you have to have full transparency, because if not, they're going to completely screw up your deal. Because they can screw you and say, all right, I'm not signing off on the HUD statement. I'm not signing off on the closing docs. And then you're sitting there like, what the heck? Yeah, cool, you're covered because they'll never sell the property without paying you off. But at the end of the day, you might have a private money lender that you borrow money for to do the renovations, and you still got to pay them. So you do want this to be fully transparent. So what I said to Ralph, I said, hey, Ralph, if we get you your 275 and we help you out with your moving and we get the foreclosure extended, are you okay with us making money on the deal? And he's like, yeah, man, as long as you get me my 275 and help me with the moving, I'm good. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yes. So for sure, you have to be fully transparent. Now, the last thing, the memorandum. What the memorandum does is, remember our initial purchase and sale agreement, and you can do this on every single property, even a cash deal, wholesale, sub-2 deal, seller finance deal, any purchase and sale agreement that you have, you can run to your county recordings office or even have your title company or attorney's office do this. You have that purchase and sale agreement, and you put what we call a memorandum in place that puts out into the whole entire county, or actually everybody, the whole entire country, hey, Mike is buying 123 Main Street. Nobody else can buy it. You can't go through me in order to sell this house unless I'm paid off in some sort of reason, or if I release my interest, like we said on the Ovation agreement.
Awesome answer, bro. Couldn't have said
Well,
anything.
actually, to add to that, one more thing, the memorandum, we ran into a situation before where we had a property under contract. We were going to fix and flip this property. We got all the way to title and found out that there was a memorandum on the property. Come to find out, before we went on the appointment, the seller had another company come there to check out the property. They got it under contract. And then the next day filed a memorandum. Well, the next day, what they did is they tried to retrade the seller, and the seller just stopped answering. and they filed a memorandum towards the initial purchase and sale agreement that they did. So we found that out, and we could have fought it, and we could have went to court, and we could have done things like said no, they didn't have the right to file a memorandum and everything. We could have gone that road, but the seller is in a shitty situation. He needed to move, and I'm just like, you know what? Just pay me for my attorney fees, and I'll release my interest.
Bro, that was fire. That was a fire answer right there, bro. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you, bro. And that specific company that filed the memorandum on the property that we were under contract, if they didn't do that, then we would have closed on it, and there would have been nothing that they could do. They're very like well-known company in this area, big development company. So like they know what they're doing.
Right.
So if they didn't do that, right, I would have just closed on it, and they would have never got the house.
Do you advise people to file a memorandum as soon as they get a contract?
For sure.
Bro, I have a hard stop coming up. But yo, this was awesome, bro. See, the message of today is freaking solve problems. Pivot and solve problems. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When something comes up, you can, like Colleen says, you can either wake up and be a bitch, or you can be a boss. And bosses make shit happen.
Shout out to Colleen.
Right. Shout out to Colleen. If y'all not following Investing with Colleen, invest with Colleen. Hit her up. But
dude, I watch her stuff on IG, and I'm like, holy crap, she is such a gangster.
She's a boss. Right. She's a gangster. Make sure y'all watch that episode as well. So, yo, if y'all got to leave with anything today, make sure y'all leave with that. If y'all don't leave with anything, I'm sure y'all left with something. There was gems dropped throughout this whole episode. Mike was dropping gems all day. So make sure y'all go back, rewatch this video, rewatch this sometimes, and write it down if you weren't writing it down before. Make sure y'all subscribe. If y'all go down, y'all subscribe. If y'all not subscribed to both of our YouTube channels, both of our Instagrams, make sure you do that ASAP. It's right there in the description. Make sure you smash the like button on this video, and make sure you come back next Saturday. We have a special guest coming next Saturday. The streets are talking about we got Matt Beard. So we'll see. We'll give Matt Beard on Saturday. Should be an epic episode. I appreciate everybody for jumping in. Mike, you got any words before we tune out?
Man, I just appreciate y'all for watching. Daryll, I appreciate you, bro. I'm ready to go crush it. I actually have a meeting with my business partner right after this, and I'm excited for this shit.
Oh yeah.
By the way, bro, for real, if you need help with having your integrator talk to my integrator, let's set that up.
Let's do it. Let's set it up. All right, bro. Good stuff. All right, everybody. Make sure y'all connect with each other. Again, like these videos, subscribe to both channels, follow both of us on Instagram. We out. Wholesale Hardknocks, episode 4.